Hey, what's going on? It's Wednesday. I'm letting Mother Nature do a little bit of a pre-soak on the car. It's working. Got some of the clay falling off underneath. Get the car washed up, get the fuel system cleaned out. We don't race for a few weeks. Our next race is a non-wing race, but I'm not going to jump the gun on getting the car ready yet. It's that time of the year where everything's last minute. Not because we want to, because we live in Florida. So we'll get it all cleaned up. We'll get it maintenanced. We'll get it sitting here on stands. And Ashley will get me busy doing house projects this weekend. And then next weekend, we'll have some cool stuff because James and Tyler and Olivia and Autumn, in an order similar to that, that whole team will be here, and we're gonna put graphics on Tyler's new car. We're gonna get real frustrated with ourselves with the vinyl machine inside, and try to make his car look good. So, wish us luck. So that'll be cool. No kids this week, so no random helpers, no karaoke in the garage. Pretty disappointed. I had to mute part of one of the video with Savannah singing Adele. Columbia put a copyright on it because she sang it for 30 seconds. So I guess I'll just keep listening to Beartooth and Amity and all those other guys because it seems to be a little bit better and I don't have to worry about copyright claims on videos for my 85 views. But anyways, I'm gonna get ready to hook up the pressure washer, the Harbor Freight Special right there, and rinse this car off and get it ready to maintain. What's going on, guys? We're finally getting back to it. We're gonna go through this fuel system, get it all cleaned out, get things adjusted for Hendry County. We need to, probably next week, we will take all the bars out, get them greased up, get them put back in, because the next couple tracks we kind of run the same bar setup. So we'll get all that stuff in, so we'll be good to go. Last thing we'll do is change the gear, because that'll change from track to track, just depending on if we're going or not. It's Florida, it's that time of year, so that's always expected. We're going to just continue maintenance. What's going on? Next for us is going to be getting the seatbelts redone. So for our class, seatbelts are usually only good for 3 years. So if we look at the belts on our car, June 2022. Unfortunately, I should say 3 years unless you're in a major crash. That stretches your belt, so you should get them fixed. We have new ones that will now be to 2024, which is only 2 years. So it must have been on the shelf for a year. I don't know. So we're gonna get these belts changed out and be as safe as we can be for the next race.
The green PWR starting line in turn number 4. All Pro Loaded Soda has heat race number 3 is underway. One start for Corey Elias and got some fight off the third floor, welcome to the lead. Back to that second spot as the perennial all-star mechanic of the year, working on that Ryan Kevinoff. Ryan Kevinoff started his career with Fred Linder here at Fremont Speedway, so he knows his place as well. Chris Pitt continuing this strong run here at the track that Action built. There goes Chris Andrews on the move on the high side. Chris Andrews didn't hotline Ryan, didn't qualify, started at the tail, and now he's in the fifth and final transfer spot. Just ahead of Kyle Reinhardt. Reinhardt is to stay in the top 5 to lock into that free drive. Chris Andrews in the forward. Wow, Chris Andrews putting on a show from the tail of heat race number 3. What? A start to the heat race for Chris Andrews. No weekend, no kidding. Had a borrowed engine last night, led a lot of laps in the big main, missed a small fight, comes to the tail of the heat into the 4th position. Unbelievable for that small Jake Kaiser team. And he's closing on Chris Wyndham for 3rd. Chris Andrews got Trump to 3rd. I'll tell you what, Chris Andrews sells some t-shirts here tonight.
What's going on? We're getting ready for Bubba Raceway Park here coming up on Friday. I know this video is probably got a couple weeks worth of footage in it, from washing the car to doing a little bit of stuff, and now getting ready for racing this coming week. Kind of under the weather last week, and didn't feel like doing anything with the way the weather chances were looking. We were just gonna probably just stay home, and weather did what we thought it would do, and it ended up raining out. But now it's time to get the car ready. The next 2 races have the same setup in the car, just minor adjustments. So we're gonna go ahead and swap the Volusia stuff out of here, put the stuff in for Ocala and Hendry County, the bars in the rear, clean the inside, and go from there. So we'll turn. Alright, well, there you go. That is what we do weekly, unless we have a bad finish or something. Usually I won't do that. We don't finish a race, and I don't need to. It's like punishment with the car, like put your kid in the corner. But clean the rear bars and clean the drive line. Every race, a little bit of dirt and grime gets in there, so you wipe them clean, put new grease on, get ready for the next race, and hopefully that's this weekend. What's up? Last segment of this video before we release this one. Saturday's race day. We'll do some final adjustments on the car that day as we load up. It's a local race for us. Hot laps aren't until 7 p.m. So we'll do our last minute stuff on Saturday, getting ready for that. But as I was going through the fuel system, getting everything reset from Volusia, which is a half mile, to Ocala, which is a 1/3, glorified 1/3, I noticed that I was out of brake fluid. And the brakes did kind of get weak in the last race, so I think something was loose there. I had pumped the brakes out, so my lovely wife, who has AC, because it's in the upper 90s here in Florida, it is hot. It's going to help me pump the brakes on this car and make sure we don't have any air in the system, so when we need to use them, we can use them. Well, that was good. We didn't find any air in the brakes, so that's all done. Thanks, babe. And you did see that I put belts on the other day, and I've seen a couple things that I like with these Crow belts, the race whip belts, that I've had for the last 2 years. That were great. But one of the features that I like on here is the Crow belt is actually stitched around for the ratchet. It's stitched around the bolt, so the race whip belt was just a long belt, and you kind of folded it back through and then ratcheted it down like a standard ratchet strap. Well, sometimes during the race nights when things were going wrong, it would bind up in there and make it tough to ratchet me down in the car because we're really tight in these cars. So with this having less material, and then it's actually stitched around the bar where we ratchet it in, it should be easier, cleaner, and not have something out here that could potentially flop around or slip up and come untangled or anything like that. Other than that, the tops are all the same. I wish me being bougie, I wish everything was all black hardware like I had with the race belts, but they were $100 cheaper than most of the other ratchet belts that were out there. And I like the 3-inch strap with the Hans. The Hans comes down over your collarbones, so a lot of guys use a 2-inch strap on there. I did that a couple years ago, and when I tightened in the car, it just felt like there was a lot of pressure on my collarbone because I run a hybrid, which stops back here. You know, it connects to the helmet and keeps your head from moving too much, but it stops back here, so the thinner belt just doesn't feel good on the collarbone. It feels like there's a lot of pressure there, so I like to stick with the 3-inch belts and go from there. We're gonna put these body panels on and get everything ready to wrap this thing up. We will see you guys at Ocala. Hope we have a bunch of people show up. Support Mom in the merch tent. Right now, Dothan, Alabama is the highest selling facility we've been through since we've had our merchandise. So let's see if our home track can top that. We have not been to Hendry County yet, and Hendry County is usually a hot spot on being able to buy stuff. So let's see what Ocala can do. Buy a bunch of merch from us so we can buy tires and buy fuel and continue doing what we love to do. Later.